What's up, YouTube? This is CJ.
And Sarah.
It's a Wednesday, and it's time for another Keto
Conversations.
So let's get started. Okay, I want to move this can of stuff out of the way.
Hopefully you won't knock it off the table.
Sorry. All right, sorry, that's pretty unprofessional.
Because we're super professional over here.
All right, so this week we want to talk about some non-scale victories and why you should be celebrating those.
So when you hear people talk about NSV, that's what they're talking about. Sometimes people will just shorten it with the acronym, but that's what they mean. When someone said I had an NSV, that means they had a non-scale victory, something that doesn't have anything to do with what you weigh or how much weight you've lost or are losing, but other means of calculating your success on the ketogenic journey.
Right. And so I'm going to start off, and we haven't rehearsed this at all. We kind of
usually don't.
We know what we're going to talk about, but we haven't, and we've got some notes, but we haven't really practiced this or anything. But so I'm just going to kind of go back through, because we have a lot of new subscribers and a lot of people that we've never, heard of before.
And we don't know where you're at.
And we don't know where people are in their keto journey. So we have been doing keto. You just said you had your keto.
I had my keto-versary.
Keto-versary when?
The beginning of this month.
Oh, okay.
So 11 days ago.
11 days ago. And so.
It's been 2 years.
And it's been almost 2 years for me.
Yeah,
probably.
yours is more like January.
Yeah. So we've been doing keto, you for 2 years, and me for a little less than 2 years. And I have lost 70 to 73 pounds, depending on what day of the week it is and what time I get on the scale. And you've gone from a size?
I've lost 70-ish pounds. It may be more. I don't weigh myself.
Yeah,
so all of my victories are non-scale victories.
Yeah, but when you started though, I'm trying to give people a little bit of background, because although we have videos about, but we don't have.
I started at a size 22, 24, and now I'm an 8, and I wear a small or extra small in shirts and an 8 in pants.
Wow.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's a little bit about our background. So we've had some on-scale victories.
Yes.
But we've also had non-scale victories. And so we wanted to kind of talk about that and I guess relay to you the importance of celebrating those non-scale victories. Because
even if you're excited with how things are going on the scale.
Oh yeah, if the scale's moving,
yeah, great.
You
but
definitely need to be celebrating
that doesn't mean that you can't still embrace and enjoy non-scale victories.
Exactly. And so, I'll tell you, now some of you guys know that we just kind of joined households and we went through a huge, I don't want to call it a remodel, but it was a remodel of my house.
It was a facelift.
It was a facelift of my house. A lot of changes, a lot of stress, just a lot of stuff just going on. And we remained keto all the way through.
Yes.
All of that. However, I will say that for me, when I deal with stress, a lot of times I will probably eat more than I need to be eating. Although it was always keto foods. I never was eating, I didn't go like crazy and have a donut or anything like that, but I was eating keto foods, but maybe having more than I should have had. And so the other day, so now things have kind of calmed down. We kind of getting into a routine, and everybody's figuring
back to work. Not back to school yet, because the teachers are on strike here, but hopefully soon.
Teachers are still on strike here, so that's affecting us, which is some
a stress.
Which is a stress.
Speaking of stress.
But I got on the scale the other day, and I was thinking, oh wow, been kind of off as far as eating keto, eating too much keto. That scale is going to be like just really off, and it wasn't. It was, I don't know, I might have been up a pound.
So it was no big tragedy.
It was no big tragedy.
Now, if you'd been a girl, you probably would have cried and cried and cried.
I don't know, but it was. I think I was up a pound, and I hadn't weighed myself in probably over a month. And I was one of those people who would weigh myself pretty much every week to every other week and take measurements, because I'm big on taking measurements.
Measurements are really good.
And so it was cool that even with all the stuff that's been going on, and even though my keto hasn't been perfect, it's still, I had only change for 1 pound, and that could have just been water for all I know.
Because you can go up 3 to 5 pounds
yes,
every day.
You can go up
depending on when you weigh.
Your body, you can go up 3 to 5 pounds every day.
Yeah.
We'll put a link to that article, which is really informative and eye-opening, and something you need to keep in mind. So we wanted to talk about these non-scale victories. We also got a nice comment from someone from
one of our subscribers,
Mary, and she was telling us about one of the recipes. I think it was the enchilada casserole or something. But she also talked about how I think her A1C numbers had gone down.
Now she'd lost 35 pounds in 4 months, which is wonderful.
Yes.
So she is having some scale victories,
yes.
but she's also having non-scale victories.
Right.
Because of the normalizing of her blood sugars and, the lowering of all of her numbers and just overall general
health.
Feeling better.
Right.
Health.
Feeling better, health. Another person that she's kind of been around our channel for a while is Deb, and I saw this on Facebook. I didn't see it a comment on it necessarily to us, but I saw it on Facebook, and talking again about non-scale victories, blood coming off of medications for diabetes. And I remember that. I remember when I got off of metformin because I had lost so much weight.
And not even just cost, but the hassle of having to remember to take something every day, and maybe some of the side effects you could have.
Yeah,
so that's a big
that was
victory.
I saw her post something about that, and I was celebrating for her because I know that is a huge deal. I've been there, and that is an awesome non-scale victory. I remember when I took a flight last year. I don't think I've been on a flight this year. For the first time, the seatbelt. I didn't have to get a seatbelt extender, and for years I would have to get a seatbelt extender. And this is the first time I could actually buckle my seat and not
just with a regular
seatbelt, and had room to spare. And that was like cool. That was like an awesome thing. And
you could ride all the rides at Legoland.
Yes. We went to Legoland. I could ride all the rides. I didn't have to tell my daughter, because a couple of years before we had gone, and there were some rides that I couldn't fit on because I was too large. And so that was some big non-scale victories that I've had. And again, I guess one of the most recent is just that I hadn't even gained weight. Because this is something I'm sure people think about this all the time. So people say, okay, wow, this keto thing is working. I've lost all this weight, but if I don't do it perfect, am I all of a sudden gonna just be boof, blow up? It always gonna come back. And I'm telling you, you're burning fat. You're losing fat. And so I'm not telling you to go out and go crazy.
No. And your body is changing.
Yes.
And stabilizing.
But what I'm saying is that, again, I wasn't doing perfect keto. And wasn't even doing intermittent fasting like I normally do. And still, it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't like all of a sudden all the work I had done, for the past year and a half was over with.
Right.
And so, sure, people cheat, people go off, and then they gain a couple of pounds, but a lot of times that's just water because your body is reacting.
Hold on to.
Your body is reacting to the sudden influx of carbs.
Right.
And again, we're not saying that you need to just go out and start cheating.
No,
but
that's not what this is about.
Yeah, we're talking about celebrating non-scale victories because some of you might be going through some things where you're not seeing the scale move.
Which is very normal for this way of life.
Yeah.
That's very normal.
Right.
So, but that doesn't mean, well, and there's a lot of judgment too. Maybe you started out several 100 pounds overweight and maybe you've lost 100 pounds, but you still feel overweight, or people look at you and think, well, they're still overweight, and that's, they don't understand what's going on inside. They don't understand always how far you've come. So it's really important to remember these non-scale victories. Right.
And so you need to remember those things. You need to remember how far you've come. You need to remember the progress you've made and that you're making every day, every week.
Right.
Because, keto has long-term health benefits.
Right.
So it's not just, and that's one of the things we talk about here a lot on our channel a lot, is that we've adopted this as a lifestyle, not just as a diet.
No.
We're going to be those people, when we read stuff from doctors saying that the keto cannot be sustained, we're like, okay, yeah, that's,
I guess we're unicorns.
That's BS because we do it every day. I remember sitting in a meeting today and someone had some cookies and and someone said, "Hey, look, don't those cookies look good?" And the cookies did look good.
So did you say yes?
I said yes. The cookies. I said those cookies look good. But I said, you know what I see when I look at those cookies? All I see is carbs and sugar.
Yeah.
And I was teasing, but actually I wasn't teasing because that is all I see. Because all it was they were actually Halloween kind of cookies, which was
already
weird. Already.
Wow.
And they were.
Can we get through September?
Yeah,
people?
they were like pumpkin, pumpkin frosting, and it was like, okay, whatever. And yes, they did look good, but I'm not even. That stuff doesn't even.
We should make some pumpkin cookies with cream cheese icing. That sounds yummy.
If you come up with a recipe, we can do it. But anyway, what else? What other non-scale victories?
Well, for me, since I'm not much of a weigher, a lot of times I will gauge how I'm doing, how I'm feeling about how I'm doing keto is sizes of my clothes. You know, I got a t-shirt from Amazon today, and I took it out of the package, and I thought, oh my God, I ordered a child's shirt. I'm like, this is not my shirt. But I tried it on, and it was totally fine.
Oh, wow.
It fit me just fine.
Now, see, that's the first I've heard this story.
Yeah, because I haven't told you this story, because this
so.
just happened today. Yeah. And I'm like, oh Lord, this, because I think it's an Asian size, and so their stuff runs even smaller. So their small was like real small, and I thought, oh my Lord. And I do that often because I buy a lot of my clothing online. Mm-hmm. So it comes to me, and a lot of times I will do the measurements online so I know whether something will fit. So it's always good to know your measurements. That's another non-scale victory. But yeah, to pull something out of a bag and think, this is not going to fit me, not even close. And then to try it on and be like, oh, it fits me. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. And then I want to remind a lot of you guys that a lot of you still are looking at yourself how you used to look.
Yes, we have.
We've got a video called Fat Eyes, or we talk about fat eyes, and that's a term that we use that I used to always tell Sarah that she's got fat eyes.
And I still have it
because she can't
even
see,
2 years in.
She can't see all the progress, and she's thinking that she's still like she was before. And I keep telling her, well, no, you've drastically changed, but of course.
He loves me.
Yes, so I love her, so she thinks I will not tell her the truth. Although she ought to know by now that I will tell her the truth.
Sometimes he's told me way more truth than I've actually wanted to hear.
Yeah, so if you're with me, you'll get the straight poop. Probably 98% of the time. So anyway, again, celebrate the victories that you've had.
Less joint pain is a big deal to me. I used to have plantar fasciitis in my left foot, and because I work on my feet, I'm on my feet all night, I would be so bad where I would come home, and anytime you would sit down for an extended period of time, and then you would go to walk again, or if you would sleep and then you go to get up, you would have excruciating pain in the bottom of your feet and in your heel. And since I started keto, almost right off the top, even when I was still much more overweight, that pain went away. So I, feeling less pain when you're working, and when you go and do activities, you have better endurance and less pain, which to me is really nice.
I can attest to that as well. I used to have I had an ankle that apparently sometime in my youth that I had actually fracture.
I didn't know.
Didn't even know it. And the doctor, I had x-rays as an adult, and the doctor said, well, when did you break your ankle? And I said, well, I never broke my ankle. And so it was news to me, but I obviously had something that you could see on the x-ray. And I remember how I used to, anytime, so before we started doing YouTube, and I'm still a photographer, but I just don't do as much as before, but I would go out on kind of photography expeditions and
a lot of rough terrain.
Be out walking for hours, several miles, and I would always be paying a price the next day. My ankles would hurt so bad, and I noticed recently, even on our vacation, we did a lot of walking. And
on Saturday we went to that park and we had to climb a whole bunch of stairs. Yep. And the next day, neither one of us were complaining about.
Yeah, we had to go down this big and basically a trail down to the beach. But of course, if you go down, you've got to come back up. And I warned everybody before we went down. And actually, I felt pretty good coming back up, because there've been times when I've done that hike that we went on, and I'd have to stop multiple times because of my weight.
I stopped at the top, but I was having an allergy attack, so I had to catch my breath. But I only had to stop at the top, so that was pretty good.
So yes, so that's another non-scale victory, and you might have had something else. And that is one thing that we do want to encourage you guys to do, in the comments, let us know
what yours are.
Some of the non-scale victories that you had, and so that other people can see those, and it may trigger things in other people.
Yeah, notches on your belt, being able to see your feet, your stomach not hitting the steering wheel. I mean, it can be anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah. I just thought of something, but I can't say it on camera, so that's okay. That's all right. Okay, so mental clarity. We got some.
I was listening to a podcast from Keto Fest last night, and they had Amy Berger on there, Dr. Amy Berger, and she's writing a book about the low carb diet in males. And how it can reverse all kinds of sexual dysfunction, prostate problems. And she's like, and you're you're eating steak to do this. She's like, so what man doesn't want to hear, you're going to renew yourself in the bedroom and you get to eat steak all the time.
Right.
This is going to be a bestseller, I can tell.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Yes. In fact, maybe we should write an article about that.
Yeah.
Let's see. So we've got another thing that we jotted down: mental clarity.
Although right now I have mental fog.
Yeah, I can attest to that, but I also probably have mental fog a lot as well. But a lot of that has to do with just keeping late hours and trying to get things done. Schedule. Yeah. But I do know that my moods seem to be a little bit more stable. I know I've had depression in the past, and so that seems to be a lot more stable.
And that probably has a lot to do with your blood sugar too,
and
some of those things. So keep having your blood sugar normalized.
Yeah.
Really helps.
So again, the whole point here is you know if you're doing keto, there's probably a lot of things that you aren't even, because you may be getting hung up on the scale. Don't get hung up on the scale. The scale, when you get I used to always say, if I see the scale drop even one time, so I get on the scale and it's dropped 2 pounds, and I get back on, then again it's back up 2 pounds, I'm taking the 2 pounds that I lost the first time because it was gone. But anyway, that's just how I look at the scale. But again, these are the things that really you should
keep you going.
To keep you going long term with keto, to make keto a lifestyle. And one of the things behind this channel is that trying to give people options, food options, that you don't have to always eat really bland food. Although we do preach keep your keto simple, but it is okay from time to time to make a special meal.
Yeah, or to try and change up the foods that you used to eat and make them keto friendly.
Yes.
That's what a lot of what I do as a cook.
Yes. And so keto can be sustainable as a lifestyle, and we're big firm believers in that. So I don't think we have anything else.
No.
I think we're done.
Okay.
Okay. So we've
He says we're done.
We've jibber jabbered enough. We've covered enough points about non-scale victories. But if you're new to our channels, this is our Keto Conversation segment that we do every Wednesday. We do new recipes on Sunday. And so consider subscribing. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to have you here, part of our keto family. And we're all about trying to encourage people to live keto as a lifestyle for not only weight loss, but for better long-term health benefits. So again, thanks for watching CJ's Keto Kitchen. We appreciate you being here.